Welcome to our presentation, Manufacturing Survey Results and Top Industry Concerns, presented by Allen Gibson Hulick, LC. My name is Emily Yunke, and I will be your facilitator today. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our speakers. Our first speaker today is John Trowbridge. John leads AGH's Manufacturing Industry Team, which is a group of AGH professionals that spends a significant part of their time focused on understanding and serving manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors. He is a former small business owner with more than 30 years of tax planning and preparation experience. John is also a current member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Kansas Society of Certified Public Accountants. Our other speaker today is Carrie Wiegand. Carrie is a Senior Organizational Development Consultant for AGH Employer Solutions Organizational Development and Family Business Services Group. She has experience in a variety of human resource functions, including a solid knowledge of labor laws, compensation structures, employee classification, benefits administration, performance management, and human resource best practices. She has served clients in a number of industries, including many manufacturing companies. I'll hand it over to John now to start the presentation.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to our presentation. We wanted to record it in advance so that you could listen to it at your own time and hopefully forward it along to others as you see fit and that you think they might benefit from it. As our host mentioned, my name is John Trowbridge, and I am the head of the Manufacturing Industry Team here at AGH. We conducted a survey, a manufacturing industry survey, in late November 2015 that asked participants to rate their top areas of concern going into 2016. And we gave them different areas to rate on a scale that ranged from unconcerned to very concerned. Our respondents included leadership from local manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors. If you've not received a copy of the survey results and would like them, email me at john.trowbridge@aghlc.com, right there on your slide. So here are the top 5 concerns that surfaced from our survey. First, recruitment and retention of skilled labor. Second, compliance with Affordable Care Act requirements. Third, IT and cyber security concerns. Fourth, overall economy. And fifth, international trade environment. So let's look at the top concern, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And that top concern was skilled labor, recruitment, and retention. And as you can see from the illustration, all of our respondents, 100%, said they were either somewhat concerned or very concerned about this topic. So skilled labor and retention recruitment remains our top concern amongst manufacturers. And I say remains because anytime I talk to a client, a prospective client in the manufacturing industry, ask them, what's keeping you up at night? This is it. They can't get enough skilled laborers and can't keep the ones they've got. According to the Manufacturers Institute 2015 Skills Gap Report, over the next decade, 2 million of the necessary manufacturing jobs will go unfilled, resulting from baby boomer retirement, leaving an extreme surplus of open positions that will exceed the remaining pool of skilled workers. Matter of fact, in this report, executives say that it takes an average of 70 days to recruit skilled production workers. Then you have to train them. In addition to the sheer lack of available workers, that problem is going to be exacerbated by a negative image of manufacturing among younger generations. Now, because of this, we expect to see a few things here in 2016. Manufacturers are going to continue to try and put solid efforts into looking for ways to recruit, engage, and retain their current workforce and plan for future employment needs. Going to do this by trying to engage their employees to keep their current workers happy and on board. they're going to have solid efforts to reverse the blue-collar stereotypes through community outreach, communication efforts. We've seen some of this already with our clients, where many of the management of some of our manufacturers have gone into local high schools to talk about the great opportunities for great careers and advancement in the manufacturing industries. And also through on-the-job training and education to keep their workforce relevant and up to date on the technology that they need to be able to be productive workers. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Carrie Wiegand, AGH's Senior Organizational Development Consultant. She's going to offer some more thoughts on how our manufacturers can recruit, retain, and keep their skilled workers engaged. Carrie?
Thanks, John. I'm going to focus in on those three areas John mentioned as I talk at a high level on things companies can do to attract and retain the skilled labor that is in high demand. Employee engagement through culture, on-the-job training and education, and community outreach. When you look at the jobs reports that are released every month by the Department of Labor, we've clearly come out of the recession. The latest unemployment numbers released showed us under 5% for the first time since 2008. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll see that there are certain jobs in certain industries that continue to go unfilled, the technically skilled jobs. This is no surprise to you, as you're the one struggling to fill openings for this type of position. When jobs are scarce, employees take a job, any job, and hang on to it even if they don't enjoy the job or the company environment. But when jobs are abundant, job seekers can be much more selective in the job they take and choose to stay in. When we look at skilled labor, this is where we are today. The jobs that are abundant are the jobs in those technically skilled areas. In manufacturing, these are the jobs that require a technical degree or technical on-the-job training, but not necessarily a college education. These jobs are abundant in part because the labor pool for them is limited. That means as an employer, you have to create a culture in which employees want to work for you and stay working for you. A culture where employees are engaged and invested in the work that they do. Because if you don't, it's easy for the skilled worker to leave your company and find a job that pays just as much or even more somewhere else. When certain skills are in demand and employees have multiple employer opportunities, it's not just about the money and having a secure paycheck. It's about finding a place they enjoy working and that fits with their values. As an employer, you have to identify your company's employee value proposition and be able to communicate that to your employees, both your current employees and your prospective employees. Those employees who find that employee value proposition valuable to them will be dedicated to you and your company. An employee value proposition includes both the tangibles and intangibles that you offer. It's what your employees get when they come to work for you. So it's the intangible things like a paycheck and health insurance, but it's also the intangible things, the things that you can't put in your bank account, but that make you feel good at the end of your day. It's a sense of purpose in building something of value, or the feeling of belonging to a great team or a great company. One company I work with manufactures equipment that has the potential to save lives, and they tout that mission and their employees really get it. They regularly communicate the mission and link it to the job at an individual level. They've created a culture where each employee knows their job and how they contribute to saving lives. Every employee can acknowledge that what they're doing makes a difference, even if it's just working as a welder or a painter on a line. Those employees get it, and they're engaged in what they're doing and committed to the company's success. For the people that are successful there, it's not just about getting a paycheck. It's about building something that helps save lives. But not everyone succeeds there. People that don't get behind the mission don't work out. The company is very clear in their culture, and the people that don't align don't stay. When the company culture and individual values do line up, the employees tend to be very loyal and dedicated to the company and their work. They've built a culture where employees are connected to the mission and therefore connected to the company. When you're clear in your culture, it's easier to hire the right person for the job, and cultural fit is huge. The best companies are very clear in their culture and what it takes to succeed in the company, and it's not just skills that are required. When you're clear in your culture, you can hire for attitude and character rather than just skills. Skills can be learned by someone with the right attitude and character. More and more research points to this strategy as being more successful. Most of you have probably at one time hired someone who had the perfect mix of skills and experience, but they just didn't succeed in the role. Why? Well, they couldn't navigate the company culture. If you hire people who share the same general company values, they will be more likely to fit into your company culture, and you can train them with the appropriate skills that they need. Character doesn't tend to change over time, but skills can certainly be learned. On-the-job training or development can be a highly effective way of retaining good employees. Employees recognize the investment that the company is making in them, and that can lead to increased loyalty. In addition, when the company provides training, you have the advantage of training the employee in the way you want your employees to work. As John mentioned earlier, according to some estimates, over the next 10 years, there will be a shortfall of more than 2 million technically skilled workers for manufacturing jobs. Training employees on the job is one way you can help combat that shortage. You benefit by having the employees trained in the skills you need, and the employee will be grateful and loyal to you in the process. Another area where we have to make progress is through community outreach, and John talked a little bit about that as well. Manufacturing companies have to effectively engage the community in partnering with local schools and educational institutions to build skills that are needed in this industry, combining education and work experience in a work-based learning model. We've seen some movement toward this in Wichita, and I've heard it's very effective. We just need to do more of it and promote the opportunities. Only 1 in 10 jobs in this country require an advanced degree. 2 require a university degree, and the remaining 70% require a high school diploma, 1-year certificate, or 2-year community college degree. College isn't necessary for everyone, but it's often promoted as the only option after high school. In terms of promoting the 70% of other opportunities in alternative career paths rather than jobs requiring that 4-year or higher degree, we have to do more to communicate how important and how rewarding a career in manufacturing can be. It's all in the messaging. Think back to the client I was describing earlier, the manufacturer that makes a product that has the potential to save lives. If I asked a school-aged kid to name a career that helps save lives, they would likely say the traditional answers: doctor, nurse, firefighter, paramedic. I doubt any of them would say a welder on a manufacturing line. We have to change the messaging and the perception about working in manufacturing. Not everyone gets to build the future. Manufacturers do. For some time, working in manufacturing hasn't been seen as the most desirable field, but the reality is that for many, they can find a very successful and lucrative career by taking the technical route that doesn't involve a traditional college education. And when they do, they're less likely to start their careers saddled with student loan debt. We have to do more to educate our youth about the potential opportunities they have working in manufacturing, but we have to start young. Waiting until high school is too late. There's an opportunity to engage middle and even elementary school students, and maybe more importantly, their parents, to see that there are great career opportunities in manufacturing. I recently spoke with an HR professional who used to work in a company in Nebraska, and she said they had career fairs targeting middle and elementary school students and their parents. So that young of an age, to show them what a career path in manufacturing could look like. They felt they had to start in elementary school because even in middle school it might be too late to get them to consider manufacturing. We have to engage the students at a young age to get them interested in these careers, and the parents are equally or even more important in this process. It's human nature to want your children to do better than you, to have more, to be more. We have to show parents that their children can have all of those things in a technical career track in manufacturing too. It doesn't have to be college. 70% of our jobs in this country don't require college. Sending kids along a technical pathway may give them a much more competitive advantage for their futures. As a manufacturing employer, you have a tough path ahead of you to find and retain skilled workers. But the upside to that is you have a lot of opportunities to become a great employer and communicate that to your workforce and to your potential workforce. We thank you for your interest in this topic, and now I'll turn it back over to Emily.
Thank you, John and Carrie, for presenting today. If you have questions for our speakers, please feel free to get in touch with them using the contact information on your screen. We hope you'll visit aghlc.com throughout the year to check out all of our helpful business resources, as well as aghuniversity.com to view our current listing of free webinars. Thanks again for listening in, and have a great day.